Leader.
State leaders say there are 4 more cases of coronavirus in Montana. 3 of those cases are in Bighorn County involving 2 men and 1 woman. The 4th case is a woman in Yellowstone County. There are currently 23 active cases of COVID-19 in the state. 445 people have fully recovered from the virus. Well, Governor Steve Bullock announced earlier today additional support for destination communities and small businesses as Montana enters phase 2 of reopening. The state will provide additional testing and contact tracing in areas that have high visitation of tourists and begin an informational campaign to educate visitors on responsible travel. Beginning June 1st, businesses can apply for additional CARES Act funding through the Montana Business Adaptation Program to help keep staff and customers safe, and the Tourism Education Program, which is designed to create a statewide informational campaign to educate visitors prior to and after arriving in Montana.
If you're going to come to our state, heed state and local restrictions, as well as the guidelines set up by businesses. Engage in the same precautions we do and exercise patience as tourism communities slowly and gradually welcome you back.
The Montana entrances to Yellowstone will also reopen on Monday, and the state is working closely with the park for testing and tracing in that area. Well, even though the rest of Montana will enter phase 2 reopening June 1st, the Blackfeet Nation will be keeping their doors shut until June 30th. All the same restrictions still apply, which include a curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. and reduced hours for sales of alcohol. Governor Steve Bullock is still hopeful that Glacier National Park will begin to reopen the second week of June, but the east entrance of the park through the reservation will remain closed through June. Tribal Information Officer James McNeely explained the decision.
With the openings around us, people are coming in from out of state and all of that and out of area to visit. We're just wanting to keep our people safe here on the Blackfeet Nation and make sure that we stay healthy and away from COVID.
The tribe is also warning people on the reservation to be on the lookout for a scam in which callers ask for birth dates and social security numbers by saying they have COVID test results.
Well, the Great Falls Community Food Bank has nearly doubled the amount of food they've given to organizations in the last 2 months, and that's why MTN wants to help. Our parent company, Scripps, is donating $12,000 to the food bank and is challenging the community to match that donation. The Great Falls Community Food Bank serves more than 70 agencies in our community, like Meals on Wheels, youth organizations, Great Falls Public Schools pantries, and more. Executive Director Sean Tatarka says they usually provide around 10,000 pounds of food per week to those agencies. But during COVID, that's increased to upwards of 20,000 pounds. We'll be sharing much more about the food bank and the agencies it serves in the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, if you'd like to help, give the food bank a call to donate. And the Rebound Montana Relief Fund now sits at more than $246,000 tonight. That includes the generous $100,000 contribution from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Montana earlier this week, plus $146,000 from viewers like you, along with matching funds from AMB West Philanthropies and MTN. We have more on Montanans and how Montanans can keep contributing on our websites. And although coronavirus restrictions have started to lift, the financial burdens created by its harsh impacts have not. In order to help those in need of financial relief, Congress passed a coronavirus farm assistance program allowing the U.S. Department of Agriculture to purchase and distribute agricultural products to those in need. One of those authorized donor sites is here in Great Falls and began their relief box giveaway today. Hundreds of cars flooded the Holiday Village parking lot and surrounding streets as they waited in line for a free box of produce this afternoon. The 25-pound produce boxes were packed full of fresh veggies and fruits, free for absolutely anybody in need. While the crowds caused a holdup in traffic, Salvation Army Corps Officer Mark King said people's responses were nothing but complimentary.
A lot of grateful responses and a lot of appreciation. Have not had one complaint in anybody who's had to wait in a vehicle, and we've been checking anywhere from 25 minutes to 45, maybe even upwards an hour, but so far, morale is up and all the comments are positive.
If you missed today's distribution, you'll have the opportunity to pick up a box every week through October. King added that in order to continue these distributions, the Salvation Army will need to borrow a refrigeration truck. If you'd like to lend one or donate funds so the Salvation Army can continue, we have all that information on our websites. Well, millions of dollars are available to help Montanans pay for their rent and mortgages.
Housing officials say that assistance is now available. Operations manager Cheryl Cohen says while they're seeing a high volume of applications, she believes there are more families that need help who don't know about this resource. Cohen says there's $50 million in emergency money available under the CARES Act, specifically for families needing housing assistance that experienced financial hardship during the coronavirus emergency. But how do you know if you qualify?
There are some income limits for the program. It's based on family size. It ranges between $75,000 and $125,000 a year.
Now, to qualify, your savings and checking accounts must be under $10,000, have all documents related to COVID-related job losses, and landlord information at the ready. The funds need to be used by the end of this year. All of this information, as well as links on how to apply for assistance, are on our website.
Well, new unemployment numbers mean a bleak milestone in the economic fallout from the pandemic. 1 in 4 American workers have now filed claims since March. That's about 40 million total. 2.1 million filed their first-time claims last week. Analysts expect when we see the totals from May, the unemployment rate will be about 20%. They say the hospitality industry continues to be the hardest hit. It saw the biggest losses in April.
There could be some changes coming to the Paycheck Protection Program. That's the program set up to help small businesses with emergency loans during the pandemic. Today, the House voted to make the loan more flexible, hopefully making them more accessible. Currently, small businesses have 8 weeks to use the money to qualify for loan forgiveness. With this bill, they'd have 24. It would also let them use more of the money to pay their employees, and they could defer payroll taxes. The legislation heads to the Senate now. They'll be back in session next week. The federal government will keep paying for National Guard members to help with the pandemic until at least mid-August. In a tweet today, President Trump says he's extending Title 32 status. That keeps Guard members under the direction of their governors, with the federal government footing the bill. The status was set to expire June 24th. The Pentagon says about 46,000 National Guard members are helping with the coronavirus outbreak.
And in more news around the nation, chaos has erupted in the streets of Minnesota's Twin Cities as protesters and police clash. Multiple fires are burning at businesses in Minneapolis as police use tear gas and flashbang fireworks to try and disperse the crowd. Hundreds of protesters are in the streets expressing their anger and frustration about the police killing of unarmed black man George Floyd. They breached a fence police erected last night to try and contain the crowd. Several stores have also reportedly been broken into. The violence comes after city leaders held a press conference today asking protesters to remain peaceful. Neighboring St. Paul also saw destructive protests earlier tonight.
Well, it was a little warmer today than yesterday for some, and our Storm Tracker weather team is here to tell us more.
Our Grant Garland joins us now, and Grant will continue to see those balmy temperatures.
Definitely, especially on Saturday when temperatures are reaching around 87 degrees. Now, outside right now, we're seeing temperatures not that 62 degrees in Great Falls, 64 in Helena, a little bit cooler out towards Lewistown at 56 degrees and 59 in Cut Bank. As we take a look at our winds, we're seeing southeast winds at around 13 miles an hour, so it is a little bit breezy, but hey, you know what? It could always be worse. Temperatures today did reach a high of 72 degrees, not quite though the record. 28 degrees more set back in 1919 at 100 degrees. That is also when the Cincinnati Reds, they won the World Series. Today's high overall was 73 here in the Electric City, down towards the capital 78, 72 in Havre, and 71 in Glasgow. Looking at radar over the last 3 hours, we've been looking at just partly cloudy to mostly clear skies for some. And as we head throughout the night, notice that we will see a few clouds kind of be brought into the area and then also leave our area for a partly sunny day tomorrow. So we're going to talk about our warm temperatures as well as the chance for some severe weather this weekend later on. But for now, back to you.
All right, thanks, Grant. On the campaign trail, a national Democratic group is now saying Montana's U.S. House race is one of its top chances in the country to flip a Republican seat. The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee says U.S. House candidate Kathleen Williams is now part of the group's Red to Blue program. That means Williams has met certain goals for fundraising and campaign organization and likely will be getting some help from the DCCC and related groups. Williams is favored to win next Tuesday's Democratic primary election and advance to the general election against the winner of a 6-way Republican Party primary. So far, only 19 races are in the DCCC's targeted program. as seats where it believes it can flip a Republican-held seat. Montana's only U.S. House seat hasn't been won by a Democrat since 1994. Also this week, the National Republican Congressional Committee is designating GOP candidate Matt Rosendale as one of its young guns, meaning it will be supporting him come this fall. The Montana seat is open this year because incumbent Republican Greg Gianforte is running for governor.
In the backyard of this Sheridan home, they found dog tags over 60 years old, and they found the owner.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on KRTV, Montana's news leader.
Welcome back. Just because the senior year was altered for Paris Gibson students doesn't mean the annual traditions have to be. Earlier this evening, students, parents, and staff gathered in the Paris Gibson Education Center parking lot as seniors rang in the end of their general education and the start of the rest of their lives. The bell ringing is a traditional Paris Gibson event that symbolizes a student's completion of high school. While graduation will look different this year, Paris Gibson educators wanted to keep the gong going in tribute to the students' hard work. Although the bell ringing ceremony is over, you can still see the graduating seniors' yard signs displayed on the grass outside the side parking lot of the Paris Gibson Education Center.
Well, it's almost as if it was meant to be. A teenager walking through the backyard of his Sheridan home on Memorial Day happens to find a set of very old military dog tags.
Not only that, the family ends up finding the 84-year-old veteran who once wore those dog tags.
MTN's John Amy has that story.
15-year-old Wyatt Macy just returned to his home in Sheridan after out shooting gophers with his friend when he noticed something in the backyard.
Right here. Looked down and there's just seen something metal, and I bent down and I grab it and just a little dog tag, and I was like, wow, looks real.
Turns out it is real and belongs to an 84-year-old U.S. Marine veteran from Billings. After finding the dog tags, Wyatt's mom got help from Ed Hayes with the American Legion post in Twin Bridges to help find the owner. Turns out it's Jack Bennett's from Billings.
And he's still alive. I mean, that is so cool when he was like, I found him and he's in Billings. We found him in the white pages. I was like, no way. That is so cool.
The tags are more than 50 years old and has a connection to this Sheridan home.
His parents actually lived in this house. So they must have stored some of his, some of his stuff, I assume.
For the past 4 years, they've been parking here every day, never saw a thing. And then like magic on Memorial Day, the dog tag appears. And for military veterans, it's a sentimental thing to get back your dog tags.
To him, he was so excited. It's fantastic, especially on Memorial Day. And to get it back to this gentleman, it's amazing.
The Macy's will be mailing the dog tags and sergeant stripes that were also found at that spot. Becky Macy will include a letter she wrote to the old veteran.
We hope the return of these items bring you some joy, and if you are ever in Sheridan, swing by 214 Water Street. We would love to meet you. Thank you again for your service, and God bless you, and God bless America. Sincerely,
in Sheridan, John Amy, MTN News.
And the Macy family says they can't wait to meet the man they were able to reunite with his dog tags and personally thank him for his service.
Well, we are going to be looking at not only our temperatures rising, but the chance for some severe weather possible on Saturday. Stay tuned to my full forecast coming up after this break. Welcome back, everybody. Take a look at this picture. You know, if you've had a rough day, if you just sit out here and stare for maybe 5 minutes, you'll calm down. It looks great out there. I love the contrast of colors. Really beautiful. Temperatures around 62 degrees here. In the Electric City and out towards Helena, 64 degrees, 63 in Fort Benton, and 56 degrees out in Lewistown. Elsewhere, we're seeing a little bit cooler temperatures up towards Cut Bank at 59 degrees, 54 in Jordan, and 59 up towards Glasgow. For our friends in Helena, today did reach a high of 78 degrees. Didn't quite beat the record, though, set back in 1919 when it was 95. Also, the year that Nat King Cole, the jazz musician, was born. Love his music. Over the last 3 hours, we have been looking at mostly partly cloudy skies, as well as a few clear skies up towards Havre. Now, don't worry about all the green that you're seeing on the screen. That's probably due to bugs and wind picking up some maybe loose particles. As we head throughout the next couple of days, though, we're going to see a couple of changes. Now, better just to go ahead and show you. So by tomorrow morning when we wake up, it's going to be mostly sunny, looks beautiful and all. Clouds still try to roll in like Tina Turner. We're going to be looking at around 2:30 in the afternoon. We're going to see a couple of showers move in, and this is where we could be looking at an isolated chance for some severe weather, mainly south of Bozeman along Interstate 90. We could be looking at maybe an isolated severe thunderstorm or two. I don't expect we're going to see any, though, in north central Montana. We are going to stay dry tomorrow, but then as we head into Saturday, notice we're going to be looking at beautiful skies, but then as we go throughout the afternoon, that heat that we're going to see, those temperatures rising up to around 85, 87 degrees, that's going to help kick off some thunderstorms that also could be severe. So we are going to be looking at a few isolated severe thunderstorms possible for us on Saturday. As far as our winds are concerned, we're seeing 10 to 20 mile per hour winds in Cut Bank as well as out towards Lewistown. Throughout the night, we'll continue to see that. As we head into tomorrow, we're going to be looking at blustery conditions up towards Havre and out Glasgow and Jordan. Some locations seeing 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts. So we are going to be needing to hold our hats for up there. As far as the severe weather is concerned for tomorrow, staying south of Helena for the most part, damaging wind gusts and lightning, but then Saturday hits. We're going to see really, we're going to have a low chance, but still it is a chance from Cut Bank all the way down to Helena out towards Lewistown. Any severe thunderstorms could be producing with them damaging wind gusts as well as lightning and large hail larger than an inch of rain. So we just need to be careful. Tomorrow, if you are going to be going out to the pool, maybe out taking the kids to, to a jungle gym, we're going to be seeing a 9 at the very high on the UV index, meaning that you could be looking at potentially burning within 15 minutes if you aren't putting on the appropriate sunscreen. So we might want to do that. Temperatures warming up to 86 on Saturday, Sunday 82. You can always follow me on social media, on Facebook as well as Twitter and on Instagram. As we head throughout the night, by around 5 a.m., 49 degrees, by 8 a.m., 56. So I don't think you're going to need a light jacket. It will be a nice, comfortable morning, but really warming up and becoming balmy in the afternoon. 81 for Friday, 86 on Saturday with isolated strong storms possible. And then Sunday, mostly sunny skies, temperatures 82. And then we're going to start an unsettled weather pattern as we head into the first start of next work week. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Grant. Coming up next, the cancellation of fairs is impacting 4-H kids and their animals.
Coming up, see how they plan to respond.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on KRTV, Montana's news leader.
Well, state officials look to phase 2 of reopening. Businesses, including bowling alleys, will be opening their doors back up. The second phase allows for more than 50 people to gather with still using proper social distancing. MTN spoke with the Black Eagle Community Center leaders who said bowlers will notice some changes. Only half of the lanes will be open with a limit of 8 people per lane. General Manager Greg Shoby said they are excited to open back up.
It's exciting. You know, people need something to do. We've been slowly getting things back going with our bar actually being open. It's helped out. When we were closed down, we had a good little rapport of doing some curbside and to go, and that helped out a lot. But we definitely are excited to have the people come back in, especially at the bowling alley. You know, the bowling alley is kind of our bread and butter up here. So
they'll be opening up their lanes on Wednesday. Little's lanes will open on Monday.
Well, during State Fair Week, the Livestock Pavilion at the Montana Expo Park is usually full of animals, their handlers, and families, but that won't happen this year. Funding and sponsorship for the Livestock Show comes directly from the State Fair, so this year's event is canceled. But while the State Fair show is canceled, juniors still have opportunities to display and sell their animals. The Cascade County 4-H Livestock Show, traditionally held 2 weeks before the State Fair, will move forward at the Expo Park in early July, albeit with some changes.
Instead of a live auction, we'll have a 2-day online auction. We'll still have only 50 people in the livestock pavilion, sanitized in between classes.
And one of the unintended benefits of the pandemic is the demand for locally raised protein, so the 4-H sale has never been more important. Livestock catalogs will be distributed before the sale. If you would like one, contact the Montana State Cascade County Extension Office.
Despite not having a softball season this year, one Great Falls High senior is still bringing in the accolades. Gatorade announced today that Anna Toone is Montana's Softball Player of the Year for the 2020 season. It's the second year in a row Toone has won the award, and the third year in a row the award went to a Great Falls High player. Toone helped lead Great Falls High to the 2019 AA State Championship. She concluded her prep softball career with a .448 batting average and 15 home runs at the plate, while earning 20 wins and striking out 165 batters. Toone is set to play softball at the University of Montana next year. With the American Legion baseball season heating up, the Helena Senators were tapped to lead the charge this year, and they'll be hosting the state tournament. Originally, the state tournament was supposed to be held in late July in Great Falls. Then there were some discussions of having the top seeds in the bracket host games, but ultimately it was decided that Helena would host the tournament starting August 5th, something manager John Burnett feels is a great way for his seniors to wrap up their baseball careers.
It's nice for us. I mean, it's also nice for the rest of the state. We are a central location, and you know, it was a unanimous decision to have a single host site for the state tournament. So, I mean, we're excited that, you know, the kids, our seniors, get to be out here at Kendrick one last tournament.
Stay tuned. We'll have a final look at weather after this break.
As we start tomorrow morning, Friday morning, the best of all mornings, 52 degrees with mostly sunny to partly sunny skies, warming up though nicely to 76 by 4 p.m. And heading into our 7-day forecast, we're going to be looking at temperatures warming up to 81 overall by Saturday, 86. Isolated strong thunderstorms, so just heads up, we could be looking at an isolated one, and then Sunday, mostly sunny skies.
I don't know, Saturday morning is a pretty good morning too, but an 18-year-old was recently discharged in style after recovering from COVID-19. He's a graduate this year, and to celebrate, the staff at his rehabilitation center clapped him out as he wore his cap and gown and had his diploma in hand.
Now, the patient walked out to the pomp and circumstance graduation walking march. A big congrats to Elijah and all of our class of 2020 graduates this year. Very neat.
Good for him.
Yeah, great way to
overcame a big obstacle. We're not talking about an algebra test.
Right, yeah. One day he's going to remember.
That's right.
That's all the time we have tonight at 10. Have a great rest of your evening.
Good night.